Sorry if you can hear the cough drop chilling in my mouth. I'm going to start from the top here. Caspian. General feedback on quality of my modeling and texturing, as well as where to focus my learning efforts, would be great. Thanks. This is a mood board for the visual style of the art direction. So where are we at here? So this is the mood board. Group rocks. 3 followers too. All right, so looks like you looked up some techniques, some formation designs. Oh man, I loved this one. This guy's stuff was so good. So good. Okay, so what we have here. So this is the model, right? So first thing, it feels quite low res. Let's see if we can get the model inspector on this. Is pretty sick. Almost as sick as me. See? I'm way sicker. So topology wise, it looks like you did some like your own like remeshing yourself. There's a triangulation error, I'm assuming, where like you should connect these 2 points to fix that that gap there. But the thing I think that's sticking out to me the most is the how soft it is for a rock, right? You want rocks to have faceted sides to them. And I think that's currently where it's weakest. Let's see if I can I don't even know if I can do this in a decent amount of time. But like, I guess that's your tessellated version. See, the way you've unwrapped it as well is pretty, that allows for a lot of stretching and whatnot. My God, this coughing. Someday it's going to go away, guys. Someday. So I think the way you approach the unwrap for this is a little harsh. You probably could split it down the center and relax both those sides. And as long as that where it's split where it's split is a hard edge, you're going to be fine. In your bake, that would go away completely. That seam. A good way to unwrap a rock. So let's go in here really fast. We'll do this quickly so we don't burn time. So I'm just gonna do some moving to try and get some shapes. Let's turn the floor off. And I'm going to use the trim dynamic. And just start like, you'll see if I turn the wireframe on, if I control swipe the background, we've got, where are we at here? Dynamesh is on, and turn the resolution up a bit. Start chiseling back at this. So the goal is to get those hard edges, and like I can see you had those. It's like really making those edges quite hard. So like trim adaptive is going to lock it in a little bit more, as long as you don't go too far outside of the space. You see that? And then I'll make the brush on stream for you guys, since people always ask about it. The brush that I always use for chipping and things like that. Go to brush. Go to, where are we at here? Trim. And then you've got a trim smooth border, bottom right. Tap that guy, and then do a square alpha. Shrink this down. The focal shift will control how sharp the edges of this chipping. And then you just start like, let's swipe this again. Oh, we don't want the blur on. You see there's a blur of 2 here. Let's turn that off. We'll keep your stuff nice and, keep the geometry nice and sharp. Let's, go in and we'll just kind of chip these edges just a little bit. So what you want to do is basically like signify that there's a little bit of damage happening along those edges, because that's where like those are the edges that are sticking out the most, right? Those are the spots that are gonna come into contact first with everything. So when it comes to unwrapping, like you guys were saying in chat, you're like, how do you unwrap these? So I just unwrap in a planar sense. So like if this was let's sting this up a bit more. This is not the right brush for it as well. We're just gonna try and get rid of some of the rounding stuff. Whoa, hey, easy, easy. And then the chipping. Like, cool, cool, all right. And then, let's say this is gonna be the low poly. You'd save this out as another mesh. Then I would use, Decimation Master. We'll process this, lower this by like, we'll make it like 1% of what it was originally. It's almost there. We pre-process again. Let's go like 20% of what it is now. And see, now we're starting to get to a res that I feel is pretty good. You're gonna get some areas like this that are kind of troublesome because like you get these really narrow triangulation. We've got Moto open, so I'm just gonna do this. I'm going to go Z it over, hit tab because for some reason it turbo smooths it every time. You just go and find those edges that are kind of crazy. Delete them until they're all cleaned up. Connect that one. This one, we don't need that edge there. So let's say there's obviously some other ones here. But let's say that's good to go. I soften the whole thing, and then I make a hard edge on, let's say 45. If I select, you can see that there's implied implied hard edges here. You can just go through, start hardening these, and then keep checking back. And this is how I start creating my little islands. So if I keep going back here, let's turn wireframe on. So I'll just do this, select again, and we've got a decent breakdown here. That might be a little sharp, maybe like this. So what I'm looking for is like that angle where it like changes direction in the normal. Make that a hard edge. So when you select these hard edges, you can see this is a little island now, right? So when I go to my UV tools, I'm trying to go as fast as possible, sorry. Go to your UV tools, just do an unwrap and click. So this piece is unwrapped, and then I just go through and I keep doing that to all these pieces until I get to a position where I'm like, all right, that feels right to me. See, this one's almost there. Like maybe we'll go down here. Do that. Let's see where we're at. All right, we got another island right here. So with all the hard edges selected, I say unwrap. Wait, what? We got some type of connection still going on here. Aha! It's not closed. See that? So I'm going to make that a hard edge. Select them again. This one doesn't need to be a hard edge because you don't want to break there. Okay, whoops. Select hard edges. Unwrap. So this is how I unwrap my stuff. So like these two pieces are unwrapped. So see, and you can just go in and paint areas too. This is how I unwrap rocks anyways. And then you could just do project from view. And then you have that piece. You're like, but this one's too big. You just, you can do a texel density and you can normalize. So now they're all to scale with each other in a correct fashion. And so you're just making sure, you're just making sure that you unwrap all these pieces. Now, these hard edges being here is when you bake it out, those hard edges are going to, because there's a split, they're going to have proper padding between the normal bake. So you'll get a nice transition there. So you won't really see a seam unless you get like stupid close. Closer than you would in game. Once that's all done, you pack it, bake it. Done deal. So where I'm feeling you're actually missing out on a lot of texture opportunity in here. Your ambient occlusion, I guess, because it's placed on the ground. What AO map? So it's more of a gradient than an AO map, I guess, because like down here it's like you baked the AO with a plane under it. And then these really need the emissive look. The resolution's just very low currently. So hopefully that answers some questions. I would say have another stab at it and see what you can get out of it shape-wise. All right. Up next we got where are we at here? Gregory, looking for feedback on anything. It's weird. It's in a weird state right now with overblown lighting in areas that I don't know how to take care of. It might be the GI. It's pretty bright. Changing the range of your lights, like how far they cast out, is going to help. And then controlling your bounce brightness, which you'll have control of as well. But yeah, I agree. It's just really bright. I think in general, though, everything looks pretty good. I think getting some material separation, which could be the case of like just getting the brightness in check. Yeah, it's just really bright right now. Like I expect this area up here to be pretty dark under the lights, and it's just receiving the brightness. Get sub button. What? What do you mean? How you doing, Chris? Yeah, I would look at controlling how much bounce is happening in your bakes. As far as like propagation of assets and detail, there's pretty nice amount of stuff going on. I think the contrast of the information on the floor might be a little strong, so it's like it's kind of defying the material and its perspective, if that makes sense. Like there should be like I guess like a Fresnel or the metalness, or I think this is this painted ground with a gloss on top of it. There should be like that sheen that's kind of blocking a lot of the color coming through at certain angles. I would look into that. That way you're not like, it's not competing with the rest of the detail. Looking cool though. Be careful with this too. These little details getting really close to the edge here. They could maybe stop like right around here. Maybe like a 5 more pixels up and you're good. What is going on here? No, not like this. It's cool though. I like it. This is cool too. Maybe fading the color of this slightly. It's pretty sick though. Think about where your lighting is coming from. Because Maybe there's just, I mean, the environment kind of calls for the sterile lighting, which is so many lights, it kind of fills itself anyways. Get a texture on this guy, and I think you're in a pretty good spot, really. Love the ceiling detail. Let's see here. Got Alex. Be interested on your gut reactions to this material and be as critical when comparing guys' work. People like Ben Wilson and Daniel being the standard setters. Ooh, Ben Wilson's a standard setter now. I like it. Let's see here. So this looks pretty dope. I think where it's breaking down is the how dark it is, and it might be the color saturation of the actual material itself instead of it just being dark. Like up here it looks pretty good, but down here it gets quite dark. So I think let me see here. Where are we at? There it is. I think it's just your AO. I mean, like when it gets really deep in here, in the direct light, I think getting that fibrous look that you have going on with these like little strands and stuff, getting that happening in there, but in this value, would be really good. But in general, I mean, this looks pretty. It's pretty nice. I'd like soften up your AO, and just try and get like a nice softness to it. The other thing too is if you can display this, I don't know if in Marmoset if you're using like a Fresnel and trying to soften and use like a fabric material, a fabric softener material. Great artist steel. I mean, it looks pretty nice though. Those normals too, man. What map is this? That one's odd. Anyways, I think solving the little crevice area and then in shadow that it's not so dark in your AO. Chris, you see this one? Wonder where this is. Some Division fan art. Made in Unreal Engine. Pretty cool. I think, oh, look at that roughness variation. I was just going to say, some roughness variation would be nice. I like the CCTV cameras here. Nars, what's up, man? It's pretty cool. I think variety and personality in your sticky notes is probably something to call out. Get them rotated differently, maybe some different colors, some that are older, some that are lighter or darker because of that. Jut, I think you're right, and I think right there is the mega map. I actually think I could be wrong, but that CCTV imagery kind of looks like one of the cutscenes too. This one right here, I can't tell. That looks like that one game where you play as a virus and you try and kill everyone. What is that game called? So one thing I would say is these seats look a little tall. Thinking about how someone sits there and then like understand, like the monitors and the keyboard look pretty good scale wise. Seats feel quite tall. Pandemic, yeah, it looks like Plague or, dude, it's Plague Inc. Yes, Plague Inc. It looks like Plague Inc. Really, Nars? Oh, man. Oh, this is cool. I love that you're explaining where things are coming from and how they're connected. So some pretty nice material variation, like different roughness values. I think these shelves feel a little simple, if that makes sense. Like they feel like 3D, like the thickness between the shelf and the bar that it's connected to. You get a little bit of thickness difference between those would be good. I mean, it looks cool though. This looks pretty rad. Oh, it's a really interesting camera angle. I think some medicine packs and just I want to see chaos. I want to see some of these med kit boxes open and like some of these barrels tipped over and maybe some blood spilled right here and then some like just oh, this is a cool shot. But just like little packets and stuff all over the ground. Oh, this one's really strong as well. See if you can fill those shadows with something. Some type of color. That's super ominous. That looks terrifying. In general, though, nice. Nicely done. I think these are all very even. I think if some were hanging and shorter and some were longer, and they're all very samey right now, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, cool. Feedback on the good, the bad, the ugly. I think I got those. These wires that are hanging around are almost the same color, if not the same, as the metal poles or metal support beams. I would see if you could get a color on there to just give them the rubber look, rubber material or a plastic. All right, based. So this is pretty cool for your first substance, man. I'd be careful about this procedural clumping that's happening. You could probably blur it a little bit and then rerun that kind of clumpiness to it. The ice itself is quite smooth. I think what you've got going on right here, variations of that and like half of that across all of the ice is probably going to look more accurate. I think taking this kind of cloud pattern, Illusionist, thanks for the follow, man. Taking this pattern that you have here, blurring it, and then just pushing it back in the albedo itself inside of this is going to fake that kind of that depth. How you doing? We'll fake that kind of depth of the like imperfections in the ice that are like frozen in space. Dude, this song, though, is this Lordy, too? Weird. But yeah, I'd be careful with this clumping. Feels a bit procedural, and the color of it is... It doesn't really come off like snowy ice yet. It's getting there, though. It's getting close. These cracks, too, I would... lower the emphasis on how bright they are, unless they're like fissures, like they go, like you could see the crack going quite deep through the material. Pretty cool though. Nice job on your first material. Sai, mostly need some advice about mountain materials and scene lighting. Maybe advice about composition. What's good, bad. Mostly done with all the stuff, focusing on polishing. So, this is sick, man. I think your mountains are quite layered. I mean, maybe you've got some reference. But I think, especially in this shot, if you can get your mountains to be like... Let's do this. So, your mountains are doing... your mountains are like this level, right? But yet they're going back in space. The ones that are closer, like if you think about it, if they're going back in space, like how far is this one versus this one? right? I'm assuming this one's quite a bit further than this one. And if that's the case and they're the same height, this one's actually huge. Just ridiculously huge. So getting some like perspective on like some that are closer, and then the ones in the distance, they get kind of smaller as they go back. Or like having a focal point on like as far as like how big those get, how big the mountains get. Like if you could have like one primary one and then maybe like another primary one way in the distance that's almost faded out. Like this is pretty cool. This lets me know that you're quite high up. And if that's the case, maybe all of these should be pretty low in the clouds. And one of them's kind of peeking out. This one right here as well is kind of a bit blobby. This stuff looks great though. I think getting some grime in here, you know, getting some dirtiness, just connecting those together. Where these two materials meet, trying to figure out what to do with that edge is going to be important. Oh. It's just those edges. Like I think like it's here as well. Just getting something where they all connect, where they meet. Oh, this looks great. This is really nice. Nice job. Nice and soft. I mean, this is pretty awesome. I think if you did a light overlay of some like aging roughness, where like you can see the dripping and the all that stuff. Digital bacon. Could you give me some? So you've missed the window at least for this Thursday, but you should join the Discord, because on Thursdays in this stream critiques channel, I open it up by saying critiques for tonight's stream are now open. Then you post in here, and then I close it, and then I go through this list over the course of an hour. Oh no, it's fine, man. For anyone who is new, that's it's new information. I totally get it. I don't expect you to know that off the bat, right? This shape here actually looks like a ladder. What is that? What's going on here? What is that? Oh, it's the structure holding up keeping the flags rather straight. That's funny. They come off like ladders. Oh, I see it here now. Join us. Royce, you can totally do that, but I won't be able to comment on it just because I need to make sure I get through these guys, these peeps. Getting some roughness information in here as well would be pretty nice. I would love to see the reflections of the pillars in the floor. Oh, that would look so nice. The other thing I feel like might be missing is some distance fog. Like you're getting it out here, but like feeling like this goes back in space. Here, we're gonna try and simulate that. You can see how much that does for the... Just pushes everything back. It doesn't have to be that strong either. It could be a little less than that. You probably want to add like a color to it as well. Like the atmospheric color. And then saturation goes down. Yeah, just to get like boom. Height fog. What's up, Ivescar? I mean, you want height fog. We got that stuff. I love the addition of these little birds like all flying out here and stuff too. Paintings look pretty cool. I would take another quick look at the gold material here and just see if you can like make that kind of dirtiness to the gold go more into the cracks and crevices, the kind of ambient occlusion dirtiness pass, if you want to call it that. The grime pass. Where are we at here? Dude, that's crazy. Wait, what? That's so funny. You have like this post and then this post. What are the odds? So this is looking pretty good. I would definitely talk to Sai about how the foliage is being done. Because right now yours is being limited by the amount of like geometry you're using and what you're doing with your normals. Theo50, thanks for explaining that. As far as like the details go for everything else, I think it looks pretty good. I'm curious as to like maybe there needs to be like a rug that goes all the way down here that's red or something. But definitely right now the weakest thing is your the foliage. This material right here looks temporary versus the rest of the stuff. And then how to approach the stairs as well, material-wise. Looks like you need to address that. This giant thing up here, I think these chains need to be thicker in order to help sell the weight being held up. These chains look very small. In general, though, I mean, this is looking pretty cool. The floor pattern looks pretty cool. Propping on the table looks pretty nice. Let's see what we got here. This feels a bit flat as well. And like you see how there's AO in here and AO in there. You need some AO in this one as well. It's coming along. Pay attention to your foliage and then try another stab at this material and then the material for the stairs. And then I would seriously think about like adding like a carpet that goes all the way down here. Like a red one. I think that could look pretty cool. Red or gold or red with gold in it. I don't know. The lighting on the ceiling gives you OCD. I mean, the bounce light is a little strong. I'll give you that. OCD though, man, I don't know. That's a little extreme for my taste. I'll just do this. Whoops. What? I just realized something. That's crazy. So normally when I highlight an area, I press Control C and then use Control Shift V so that it pastes it exactly in the same spot. But if you just have a highlighted area and do Control Shift V off the bat, it copies it, then pastes it for you. So like less button pressing. I feel dumb. I feel dumb, guys. So I mean, you could do something like this. And then like the areas that are coming forward more, you can bring back, right? Like these guys. And then I guess you could soften up this information, and then just dial it back in a little bit. Something like that. I mean, obviously that's a quick job of that, but yeah. But yeah, see, then you get like much more depth and structure to it. But I don't know about OCD. I have Scar. It's a little extreme. Kevin Blake, buddy, working on a little scene here. Mansion project, 3D exterior, the Avengers mansion base, based on some top-down maps of the tabletop game. So, gray box initial, what's that? Great normal map. What's up? What's up, man? How's it going? Let's see here. It's just the initial gray box. How would you improve it? This song's gonna be crazy. We're switching that. I'm not in that type of focus mode. So let's just go in and we'll look at some. Primarily, when you're looking at stuff like this, you're gonna want to look at scale. Oops. Whoa, that's intense. Let's use a friendly color. So watch out for how close this edge gets. The edge of the window. Thinking about how this is constructed. Like maybe there needs to be a trim piece that goes along here. I guess in the design there's no windows up here. And then looking at the rooftop edge and like how far that goes. Like right now it feels kind of temporary. Okay, this song is really weird. Hang on. Like, nope. Okay, we're going churches. Straight up. Churches it is. Okay, I love that you've built the cars out and stuff. So with these cars, and knowing how big a windshield is on a car, remember how big it is compared to this window. That's a huge window. I think this window is probably a little bit more in line. So checking your scale on this guy so that he can be a smiley, correct window. Give him those DiNusty eyebrows. There it is. Yes. Delicious. Maybe a little bit more depth in the doorways, depending. Just because you can get like a nice shadow when stuff goes further in. Superfan, what's up, man? Yeah, if you push these doorways in, it could be pretty interesting. Because you get some, like a little bit of a walkway here, and then the wall, and then the door. But if it's like that in the actual scene, then, you know, just look into it some. This gate as well, figure out how that works. How does it open? Does it slide? Does it open like this? Does it slide behind the wall? If it does, then it needs to be behind the wall, right? Is it a two-piece wall gate thing where it like overlaps on itself and then both pieces move? Look into that. And then figure out what's out here. Is there like plants? Is there little garden areas? Is there trees anywhere? And then again, look at the architecture for like how the floors are separated, the height from floor to floor, the size of windows, and how the roof is kind of constructed, as well as like how the floors are divided. Like, is there a cap here in the real one? If there's not, how are they connecting? How are they connecting the floors and separating them out? Anyways, hopefully that was enough information for you. So we got 5 more to go. We've got 8 minutes. This scene's looking pretty cool. The Woo. I would like some feedback on this environment, specifically lighting and composition, but general feedback is also welcome. There's a day and night lighting, so I would like to know which one is stronger lighting-wise. Nighttime is always quite difficult, but it's so So it kills me. Nighttime is so contrasty that you can do some cool stuff with it as well. Oh, let me make sure I read the rest of that message. So I will link this in chat as well, just for anyone who's curious. What else do you say here? Also, around how many images should be used to showcase the environment that wasn't designed to be viewed from just one viewpoint? I mean, if you got a bunch of angles, I think I would show... That's interesting. I mean... So your night shot is not as dark as I was expecting. Like... I was expecting your night shot to be quite a bit darker. I mean, I can see the difference between them here, but yeah. Maybe the light coming in from outside needs to be stronger. Oh, the glass definitely gets pushed back, which is really interesting. Man, I love the shadows from the lighting. I think the nighttime one is more interesting. I think if you want this one to be more interesting, it's that directional light really needs to kind of like pop. You know, the sun coming in, these shadows need to be a little bit more contrasty. Not the shadows being darker, but the brightness of the sun actually coming in is quite a bit brighter. Because like back here is pretty dark. I don't think it would be that dark back there. That's awesome. This scene's pretty impressive, though. I think doing a lot more of these like close-ups, like looking at this table, maybe sitting at one of these tables, or like seeing the view from behind the counter, like back here, looking out at the seating, could be a cool angle, or an angle where like you're sitting here but looking up at the menu, and just seeing all of the little like propping around, because you have a lot of storytelling going on, which is really cool. Yeah. The material on these chairs feels off to me. I think it's the roughness. So I would probably take a look at those. Overall, though, it's pretty cool scene so far. I think your nighttime stuff is more interesting, but I think you should have both of them. Also, I think that the amount of screenshots that you have in here, I think is okay. If you want, just post in the Discord like all of like you could post like a, I don't know, an ImageGur link with like all of the images that you're wanting to use, and then have people vote on it and put numbers on them and see what people like. It's a cool scene though. Hopefully that helps. All right, Woodrow. Mr. Wood. So this is pretty rad. I'm trying to see what the lighting in this one is pretty intriguing to me, and I think I'm not sure why. Maybe because it's not so frontal on the lighting. So you have like a light here and then like this kind of colder light on the back here. Your lighting is very shallow though. Like it's not very bright. Let me see if this looks awesome though. The brick is freaking, it's good shit, man. The other thing is be careful about the darkness that's here. It's okay to be dark, right? But you want to be careful with like how dark that gets. What is this being shown in? Oh, snap. Oh man, dude, you displaced it and then decimated it down? Is that what I'm seeing? Oh, that's epic. Just so that you could get... Man, they really need just displacement in this viewer. So in this viewer, you can see like the undershadows still have some type of color information going on in them. And I think that's missing in this. Yeah, the mesh has some wonky normals for sure. I mean, I think you could probably just make the normals all soft and it would probably be sold through the material. Or at least try it. Who knows? The caking in the inside here is pretty nice. I kind of wish the brick had some more saturation to it. Oh, this is a good song, man. Yeah, it just feels like it's missing some color. The albedo is probably the weakest thing in this. And it looks pretty good here. I mean, maybe it just needs more saturation range in it. AO looks nice. Normal looks really good. Isn't substance freaking magical? Freaking love that stuff. This looks dope though. See, when I see this, I'm like, all right, now that looks awesome. And then I feel like I'm missing out when it has color on it. Like I don't get to enjoy it as much. If that makes sense. Man, this is super cakey. Nom 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 nom. Let's get caked. Anyways, yeah, I would play around with saturation. Maybe add some more information in there. The normal noise that you have going on in here, I might try and do that with a tileable. I mean, I know that's kind of, I don't know. I know that you're doing it in the substance, so it's kind of a little different. Like, that gets locked into the resolution, right? So you got to be careful with that. I would probably opt for larger shapes in the normal for this, and then rely on detail normals to solve that stuff. New UI looks dope. All right, Vault. You're welcome to link it in chat. I'm like, what is happening? Do I have an area selected? I do. There we go. See, but then it looks weird because it's down here. It's not supposed to be that red. I assume anyways. All right, onward. Oh, right, I was going to look at one. Oh, it's 9:31 already. Fuck, I can't look at the other one, Woodrow. I'm sorry. I have to look at this one, and this one, and this one, and then I'm out of here. So I think with this one, the scale of things is all pretty similar, and you need some like smaller details to kind of like bring it all together. Just make sure that those details aren't all over the place, right? You want like smaller details and like key spot, like right here, some high frequency detail. Maybe around the door, some more details could be good. The shape too is very. It's a common shape that you see when people are first making archways or rounding corners. It's like the width here is different from the width here, so they can get kind of weird. And then I would look at your materials. Your roughness is pretty interesting, but I think the albedo is getting into some weird outside of PBR range in its saturation. And then figure out your focal point. Like, you might not need to have these lit just so that you can focus on the console here or the doorway. Looking cool, though. Looking cool. Make sure first shot I was quite happy with it. Animated textures, stuff going on, but would that make the scene too busy? I mean, I would try it and see how busy it looks. Viscosity, that's a pistol. Looks like a pistol. I would definitely, right now the metal looks like more like stone. Talk to people in the Discord. It's pretty, they're pretty good at guns these days. Some interesting gradients in your normal as well. Careful with those. You probably don't want those gradients happening. I'm not a gun person though, you know. So this scene's pretty cool. I can't give a proper critique, but dude, turned out pretty nice. I'll have to comment on it outside of the stream. The buildings are very samey. I would put like some closer, maybe some taller ones here. Like you can just stack them taller or bring them closer. That way it's not so even. Love this shot too. Pretty cool. Chai tea, dude. Chai tea. It's turned out pretty nice, man. Let's message me outside of the stream. Let's talk about this one. And then Woodrow, I'm going to look at this really fast. It's pretty gross, man. Lichen covered porous stone. It's very melty. I like the color variation, though. Interesting directional stuff on the lichen as well. I actually like that quite a bit. The kind of green, like pulled, dried out lichen. Yeah, dude. It's pretty good. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I'm sorry I couldn't spend more time on these last few. You guys have a good weekend. Man, this is dope. Yeah, tie-dye, that tea shop. It's good stuff, man. You can just, in art related, just at DiNusty and then just chat it up and talk. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Follow if you have not. And I'll see you guys later, huh? Yeah? Yeah, later? Next time? Monday? Monday. All right, have a good weekend, duders and dudettes.